Howdy, everyone. Elijah here, and we're going to be doing something a bit different today. Uh, as if the thumbnail didn't clearly show, this series is, or this video, I don't know if I make it into a series or not, is inspired by Monster Island Bunnies and his short lived um, series on his channel, Monster Island Babble. So I'm going to just ramble on here uh, for a little while on a couple of things. Um, one of one of which, in today's topic, is my thoughts on the Jurassic franchise as just like a whole. So let's begin. Um, we'll start with, I guess, the movies. Those are the best source to start with. I think I've made it very clear that I'm an extremely big fan of the original. I think the original is a masterpiece of filmmaking, and nothing will ever top it. That's just a fact. That is a fact of life for me and for anyone. And all the sequels in comparison suck ass. But that's not to say there aren't good sequels the in the series. One of them is The Lost World, which I think more of the future movies uh, you should be inspired by. Is they should look back to The Lost World for guidance. You know, should look there for guidance. Because The Lost World found this fine line between scary, horror, adventure, and can still make money, which is what Universal wants because they're greedy as hell. Um, Jurassic Park 3 is good. I'm not afraid to call it good. I think it's better than some of the later Jurassic World movies. And speaking of them, I think of the Jurassic World movies, I only I only like the first one. Because the sequels are only designed to bring in money. That's it. That is the cold hard truth in my opinion. And I used to delude myself into thinking it wasn't that. And it's not. It's not true at all. It's very clear that the Jurassic World quadrilogy so far, because they're going to make another fucking one of these damn movies. And they're going to call it Jurassic World whatever. Liberation is something people are throwing around, but I don't particularly like that. Is they're going to only make these for money and for toys. And the thing they all lack is substance. They all have other various problems, like tone issues, storytelling, characters, especially Rebirth, which I think might be the worst one. I know, shoot me, but it's my opinion. Um it's just my opinion, man. You can disagree. But personally, I think I hate Rebirth the most. Um because when I watched it, I didn't get much joy out of it. And sure, I didn't looking back on like Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, I was looking at it at the mindset of a child because I was like 10 when I saw Fallen Kingdom and 14, 13 when I saw Dominion. Fucking hell, I'm old. Um, but there's still aspects to those movies which I prefer over Rebirth. Like for Fallen Kingdom, uh I prefer the characters. Now the characters in Fallen Kingdom are stupid as hell, but at least I cared just a bit, unlike the Rebirth characters, because the only ones I cared about was um Mahershala Ali's character and Jonathan Bailey's character, and then everyone else could fuck off. For all I care. And for Dominion, honestly, what I think I preferred was the dinosaur designs. I think honestly, now people can hate the Giganotosaurus all they want, or the Giganotosaurus, or whatever. The Giga. Um, you can hate it all you want, but personally, I think it's cool. And I've had the fucking Mattel figure been staring at me for a couple years now, but that's whatever. But like the Therizinosaurus, for example, fantastic design. It's not accurate in the slightest, but it strikes that that chord that I like with the Jurassic Park designs. It's not as good as the original trilogy, mind you, but it's there. And the Quetzalcoatlus design in Dominion is so much fucking better than the Rebirth one. The Rebirth one sucks. I don't care. I hate the Rebirth Quetzalcoatlus. That shit is not a Quetz. It is a Hatzegopteryx. Um, personally, I just don't like it. Um, and the Iguanodon, like the Iguanodon, sure, it didn't show up in the movie at all, but like the Iguanodon was cool. The had a good design. I mean, people think of it in Jurassic World Evolution as like an old saggy ball sack, but that's whatever. Um, Jesus Christ. Uh, like the Microceratus, you know. Oviraptor was cool. I liked Oviraptor, but like the designs in it in Dominion were just better compared to uh Rebirth. So yeah, Rebirth has a lot of problems. I might make a follow up video to my original one because I didn't. I just seen the movie that night. But it's whatever. Um, and another thing of the franchise is Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory. Now I watched all of Camp Cretaceous and the Choose Your Own Adventure thing as well. I played that because it was the day after my birthday. It was released, which was cool. And then the Chaos Theory, I still haven't finished it. I got through the first 3 seasons and I was like, the fucking done with this show. Um, fucking boring as hell. Was the thing. Uh, I don't like Brooklyn. I think she's a very boring character. I like Darius. I like Kenji. I like Ben. I think in Chaos Theory, um, his girlfriend, his Italian girlfriend, I'd like something like that. Um, some nice lady in the Mediterranean would be nice. Uh, Jesus Christ. But the show is boring. I couldn't finish it. I still cannot fucking stomach to watch the show because I'm just so bored by it. And that's how I end up feeling at the end of the day with um just the Jurassic franchise as a whole. I feel very bored. Like, yeah, I'm getting older and I'm going to have more of an adult mindset to things and I'm not going to look at everything with a nostalgic point of view, but still I'm getting older and I'm seeing things for what they are and it's just like it's so fucking boring. And I thought David Kett would have came in and, you know, saved the entire franchise with Rebirth, but no, he didn't. He didn't save it. He made it worse. He made the franchise worse. And I don't know how that's possible. Like, how do you come back after almost 30 fucking years of not writing a Jurassic Park movie? Because what? People didn't like The Lost World. Oh, boo hoo. People in the 90s can get the fuck over it. And you just come in and you make it worse. As you have to retcon everything because people hated Dominion so much, which is fair, but still, there's some aspects of Dominion that you didn't even have to retcon. You could have just left them, like the fucking Quetzalcoatlus design. Because I swear to God, the interpretation I got from watching Rebirth, especially with the Quetzalcoatlus skeleton reveal in the whatchamacallit, in the museum, I thought they were saying that was the real animal. And I was like, no, no, it's fucking not. Because Dominion's prologue literally fucking showed the Quetzalcoatlus. And guess what? It looked exactly like the fucking Biosyn one. The prologue and the Biosyn one were the exact same. Or maybe they were like, oh, it's the InGen Quetzal. Get the fuck out of here. Just get the fuck out of here, dude. I can't stomach that design. I'm sorry. And most of this video has just been talking about that design. But back to my point. Um I feel very bored by the franchise as a whole. And that sucks because I grew up on it. I grew up on Jurassic. I grew up with the first 3 movies. I was born right like a couple years before Jurassic World came out. And I know people now were born when Jurassic World came out. And that's sad. That's sad that you're that young. You shouldn't be watching my content. But that's sad that you're that young, you know? But the thing is that I was born right there. Right there. Uh and I just had the first 3 movies. I got the second and third movie from Blockbuster before it shut down, my local one. And I had the first one that I inherited from my grandparents. And I just watched them. And I became so fascinated with those movies. Yeah, as a kid, you're like, oh, dinosaurs are so cool. But when you get older, you realize what what made you come back to the movies besides the dinosaurs? It was the characters. It was the story. It was the horror. And that's what it was. It was the characters, the story, and the horror that always made me come back. Because when I watched the Dilophosaurus scene in the first one, I remember a dream I had the following night, and I had seen the movie a couple more times, and maybe I was just a delusional child, but that's whatever. I remember the suspense I got from Dennis Nedry opening the gate, uh, the big Jurassic Park gate, and going through, and then he crashed into the sign, and he met the Dilophosaurus, and then as he was going up the hill, because his fat ass slipped down, he saw the Dilophosaurus, and it became a frilled neck lizard, and that part stuck with me in my subconscious, um, to where I dreamed about it, and I had a nightmare, and I envisioned my grandpa as Dennis Nedry. Um, Sorry, Granddad, I love you. Uh, but like, that's that's the imagery that the newer movies just can't invoke. They have failed at it, in my opinion. Again, you can disagree, but they have failed at invoking that imagery that just sticks in your mind. Like, another thing, I won't even use the first one. I'll use JP3 as an example. An image that always comes to my mind when I think of JP3 is obviously the Spinosaurus meme of it just standing in the forest. And that's just a testament to how good the CGI was then. But another image that always comes to my mind is when they're on the river and they see just the herd of dinosaurs, the big giant brachiosaurus with the birds flying off of it, the ankylosaurus along the riverbank, the stegosaurs, the parasaurolophus. I can't remember if there's triceratops in the scene. I'll put an image in the video and whatever I'm talking about. But it's it invokes this imagery, this childlike wonder that fueled the characters, not in Jurassic Park 3, but it's what like John Hammond wanted. And you can feel that in essence when you see that. Sure, the scene's really short and it's just like, I mean, the whole movie's really short for Jurassic Park 3, but it's like it's something amazing. Sorry about that. I accidentally muted my mic. But that's something that sticks in your mind is that, and I just I don't know, man. And like the toy line is becoming dry. I mean, I still collect the Hammond collection figures because of course I would. I'm a pathetic. I'm pathetic is what I am. But you you would think in in a way of how you could bring aspects back from the original trilogy to better feed into the new movies. So that way your audience isn't bored like me. And most audience members are bored, trust me, when they watch these new movies. Think think less about making a movie solely for profit and solely for toys, because that's what they do. Think of a movie that can draw in the adults with the horror, but still draws that fine line, and you will keep the audience engaged. Give good characters, give a good story, draw a fine line between adult and child, and you will find your perfect Jurassic movie besides the original and Lost World, to me. And I another thing I want to talk about is, or well, two things. One is a reboot, and two is should I think the series end? So, people for years have been calling for a reboot of the series just to make a direct adaptation of the novels. And I used to be in that camp. I used to. I used to want a hard R Jurassic Park film. I wanted a hard R Jurassic Park film. Just blood, violence, gore, everything. Thinking about it now, no. I don't want that. I don't think I don't think anything you could do could make a 100% perfect adaptation of the novel. The novel is perfect. The first one. Lost World, eh. But, you know, I I don't want a hard R film. I don't want a scene where compies go and just rip and tear into a baby's face. I don't want a scene where, you know, you see Isla Nublar explode because of the fictional Costa Rican military or whatever it was. I forgot. I, yeah, I forgot. I don't want a direct adaptation of the novels though, because you will never get perfect. And I think if you want like an R-rated dinosaur movie, watch fucking Primitive War. Just watch Primitive War. Bear in mind, I haven't seen it, but watch that, or just make your own. Make your own R-rated dinosaur movie that takes things from the fucking novel. Like I want to personally, I want a R-rated dinosaur movie. I could just watch Primitive War, or if I wanted one so bad, make it myself. Make a little fan film. And that's what I implore people to do. It's the same thing with the Jurassic Park films. If you don't like it, just make your fucking own and put it on YouTube. Bear in mind, YouTube's fucking copyright system is so ass, but still, just do it. If you want to make your own thing because the actual product you got from Universal disappoints you, just make your own. Make your own little fan film. People are going to judge you for it. People are going to make fun of you for it. Just do it. Anyways, side tangent aside, I don't want an adaptation of the novels. And finally, my last point, do I want the series to end? Yes. I think my boredom, my anger, my distaste for the movies and this entire franchise has slowly gotten to the point where I just want it to end. And that sucks. That really sucks that I am this way. But it's true. They are not doing anything innovative. They're just doing stuff solely for profit, solely for toys, solely for money, for monetary gain. And there's nothing better that exemplifies this than what they said about Rebirth when its first trailer came out. And you can find videos of this online. And it said, like, oh, the Jurassic World trilogy has grossed over $3 billion or $1 billion each or some shit like that. And I was just like, why? Why would that be something you want to pitch? Personally, I don't want to hear that. I know the movies made $1 billion. People who watch these movies already know they make a ton of fucking money. They're going to make money. It's dinosaurs, and people take their fucking kids to go see them. Why would you say that in a description for the trailer? Just why? I don't know. I don't know. But I think I'm sick of these movies, and if they don't choose to end them, I'll still go watch them. Of course. I'm still going to go watch them and give my opinion on them. I want them to get better. I do. I do want the movies to get better. But at the rate they are, and the writing staff and the directing staff, because I don't think, another tangent, I don't think Gareth Edwards is a good director. I think he's a very good VFX director, and I think he should have went solely into VFX rather than directing, because he's a very, I don't really like him. He's like the guy who directed Barbarian and I think Weapons. I could be wrong on the person who directed those two movies as well. I think they're the same guy. But I don't like that guy's work either, because I think Weapons is boring and Barbarian is shit. But back to Gareth Edwards, I don't think Gareth Edwards is a people director. I think he's a VFX director. Like the guy who directed Godzilla Minus One, he's a people director. He knows what he needs. He's also a fantastic writer. He's a great VFX director. And that's what Gareth Edwards should be, but he's not. Gareth Edwards isn't that. And David Koepp, as much as I loved his work for the original movie and spicing up that script and The Lost World and some parts of Dominion's script, they didn't credit him, but I know he worked on it. I think he's at the point in his writing career where I don't think he's bringing energy to the movies anymore. I don't think he's doing it. And of course, hiring Scarlett Johansson is, a bad choice, but that's just me. So at the rate the movies are going, I want them to end. Unless they improve or hire me, of course. I don't I don't want to see anymore. And that's been my message that I've been preaching for a while, since around the time of 2024, because I didn't even want Rebirth to come out. And yeah, I said I was excited in my Jurassic Park collection video, but really I wasn't. I knew at some point the movie was going to be disappointing, and I just didn't expect it to be that disappointing. Okay. So those are my thoughts on the Jurassic franchise. I hope all of you have listened to the entirety of this video. I want you to like, share, subscribe, do whatever. And I will catch you all on the flip side.